What is going on, everybody? Sam here with FasterFreedom. First, nice. We're getting a lot of people on here. We're getting excited. Look at all these people we got on here. We got Alex. Let me know where you guys are from, if you don't mind. Where are you from? Post it in the chat box. We have a special guest with us today. The myth, the man, the legend, Khang himself is going to be on this live with us. So we got a first. We found you on Instagram. Awesome. Pretty exciting for this. Awesome. Thank you, James. Appreciate it. Thank you. Let's go get that money. I need to come with a catchphrase. Let's do that today. Let's do that with Khang here in a second. So I am live on my YouTube channel. I got TikTok right here, actually. So we're going to go live because you can't go live on YouTube and TikTok without having Khang on there. So Florida, nice. So what we're going to be doing, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me. We are going to be talking real estate investing, specifically mainly wholesaling. We're going to get into some virtual wholesaling chat with Khang. You guys probably know him, Wholesale to Millions. Khang, he's got 2 million subscribers on TikTok. He's got over 100,000 on YouTube, and he's got over 100,000 on Instagram. So he is a big player in the game. So let me know where else you guys are from. Please follow, like my videos. There you go. Go follow Alex's stuff. So let me know where you guys are from. Keep that coming up. And we're going to be chatting real estate investing with Khang, the man, the myth, the legend himself. If you were on TikTok, you can stay there, or you can go to my YouTube. We're going to chat real estate investing. So what questions do you guys have about real estate investing? What else we got on here? Atlanta in the house, the only lemon on TikTok. Great. Awesome. So in the meantime, while we're waiting for Khang to get on here. Thank you, Call FasterFreedom. Let's get a market update. So the market right now is doing very well. There he is. Oh, he's dancing. He is dancing. He is dancing. He is dancing. Let's bring him on. How are you doing, my friend?
Good. What is going on, player?
Everybody says, look at, I got TikTok even right here. Say hi to TikTok.
What up, TikTok fam?
Do you know anything about TikTok, Khang?
I think just a tiny bit, not too much.
You've heard about it, right?
I heard about it. Yeah, I actually heard about it from Gary Vee about a year ago.
There you go. Well, I think Gary Vee can take advice from you. How are you doing, buddy? You doing all right? How's the weather up there in Washington?
Oh, bro, it's nasty. We actually just came back from Florida. I got a little bit sunburn. I got a lot of sunshine.
Don't you try and keep lighter skin? Didn't we talk about that?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I have to make sure that I got to keep it light, bro.
I like it. Awesome. Well, I appreciate you joining me, my man. Everybody's super excited. I got TikTok up there, so people be coming over. So let's get into some. Why don't you introduce yourself? I mean, everybody in the world knows who you are, but for those of them that don't, why don't you just give a quick little bio about yourself? Take a few minutes, how you grew up and how you've come so far these last few years.
Absolutely. First of all, Sam, I want to say thank you so much, bro. It's such an honor to be on your show. I met Sam at CG. Absolutely an incredible guy, full of knowledge, and I love you, man. Your personalities and everything, dude.
Well, we had fun. It was awesome to meet you. I'm excited to do some more videos with you here in March. It'll be fun.
Absolutely. So for those that don't know, my name is Khang. I was born and raised in Vietnam in a mud hut. I mean, super dirt poor. Came to America at the age of 9. From 9 until I was 15 to 16, every single summer, I was picking berries, raspberries, strawberries, cucumber, beans. I mean, you name it, I picked it. My parents, throughout my whole entire life, my childhood, I didn't really have a childhood, but I don't regret anything about it. I don't hate my parent about it because it's what's built me to who I am today. They gave me that work ethic. So from 9, so basically after school was over, you get to go and hang out with your friends, have fun, whatever that is, right? I was picking berries. And the reason why my parents put me through that is for me to use that money to buy my back to school clothing. And I remember I was, my parent would take me to go to Goodwill, the thrift store, right? The thrift store, Goodwill, Value Village, like all those, cheap stores. But anyways, I dropped out of high school when I was 17. A lot of you don't know, I got bullied pretty bad when I was in high school. I got picked on, I got bullied. They all think I'm Jackie Chan. They all want to fight me for some reason. I mean, I understand Asian look alike, but come on, man. Shit.
Hey, let's go look them up. Let's go have a conversation with them. Let's go introduce ourselves to them for you, buddy. I don't like that.
Yeah. So, anyways, I hated school. I didn't like school. School wasn't just for me, right? I'm not the book smart guy, but I knew that I can work. I knew that I'm willing to work. So I dropped out of high school when I was 17. met the wife at the age of 18, told my mom I'm done, I'm moving out, and I move out with I move into a little shed behind a mobile home park with the wife. And the shed, it's a shed. That's where you put your tools and your lawnmower and whatever. I lived there from the age of 18 all the way until I was 23 with the wife, and all we did was work. We literally every single day was work, eat, sleep, work, eat, sleep. No playing, no vacation, no party, no nothing. And
What
some of
were
my
you
friends,
doing?
I was actually I was an orthotic grinder. We make custom insole for shoes. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do. Yep.
Yep. So started out $8.50 an hour. Some of my friends and family called me a loser because I was a high school dropout. They told me that I was never going to succeed or master at anything. And man, I put my head down and I just freaking hustle and I just grind. And dude, throughout my life, I was always an underdog. And I always go by show me instead of tell me, because there's too many talker and not enough doer out there.
Show me that money.
Show me the money, man. That's how you shut them up. You don't shut them up by sitting there, argue with them, trying to prove yourself right, but show them. When you show them, that's when they shut up.
Are you sure you're not from Missouri? Are you sure you're not from Missouri? Missouri's the show me state. You maybe
really?
Change your slogan. You shouldn't change your slogan right now. Instead of get that money, it needs to be show me that money.
Show me that money, baby. So anyways, from 18 to 23, so we had a little small business when we were at the age of 20. And when I was 27, that's when I got into real estate. I bought my first house at the age of 23. Bought my first house at the age of 23. At the age of 27, almost got my house paid off. My wife throughout our whole entire journey was for financial freedom. Some of my friends and family were the look rich. The Louis Vuitton, the Gucci, the Burberry, the Blueberry, right? They were driving the, Mercedes, the Lexi, you know what I mean? The Audi. They're driving all the fancy and looking rich the whole time, man. I was cruising in my 1997 Honda Accord with paint peeling off because I was focused on looking rich. Getting rich. I was focused on getting rich while my friends and family were focused on looking rich. So when I got into real estate at the age of 27, a lot of you, at that time, I already throughout that whole journey that I was hustling and working, I got some money stacked away and safe. So when I got into real estate, I started out as fix and flip, and then I almost lost everything. Anyway, became a millionaire when I was 32. I got some rental now. I'm 36. We're doing about about 8 deals a month right now, averaging about 20 deals a month, to roughly about 180 G's a month on just our wholesaling side, not including our rentals, not including a personal brand and all that.
That's pretty good. Your story kind of like, I feel like your story could be like a Disney movie or something, man, going from the bottom to the top. I feel like it should be on it should be on a Drake song. We started from the bottom, now we're here.
Yep. Started from the bottom, now we're here. Hell yeah, bro.
That's your new theme song. So before this live's over, we need to come up with my catchphrase. So just be thinking of that as we're going through. So if you guys want to put your questions for King Kong there in the chat box, we will get to them. But I do want to talk a little bit about a few things with you, Kong, before we get to some questions, if that's okay. Why don't you talk a little bit about the market? I'll go first. I'll tell you kind of the rental market, and then why don't you talk about the wholesaling market? So the rental market is doing, it's insane. If I were dropped in, if somebody 5 years ago dropped me in right now, we're in a global pandemic, we're in a recession, I would think real estate would be doing horrible, right? There's no reason why I would think that real estate would be so good right now. But the fact that supply is so low and people's demand is so high, and the interest rates are so low, there's just there's so many different people out there looking for houses that aren't just there. So whether that's rentals or flips, everything is just flying off the shelves right now, even during the wintertime. How's wholesaling treating you?
Wholesaling good. The whole thing with real estate is, whether it's in a bad market or a good market, there's always people buying, there's always people selling. As an entrepreneur, a business owner, our job is to adjust and adapt. Like, we got to adjust and we got to adapt quickly. That's why I think most entrepreneurs, they're very quick on their feet, right? And
Yep.
if you don't adjust and you don't adapt quickly, guess what, man? You'll be out of business, like Toys R Us and all that, right?
Yeah,
So,
you're right. Yeah.
so I mean, for us, for wholesaling, when the whole pandemic happens, there are some cash buyer that are, backing out, that are not buying. They are, they want to see exactly what's going on first before they actually buy. Some of them buy, but they buy at a very, very steep discount versus before. So we have to adjust, man. So when we talk to the seller, we have to reduce our offer price, make it even lower, right? And then we end up having to start finding different ways to find our cash buyer, somebody that's willing to pay a little bit more, a little bit higher. And with the whole, properties, if the renter's in there, some buyer are afraid to buy the property with the renters in there because obviously with the whole COVID, they can't evict them or whatever the case may be. So I think throughout the whole thing, I mean, where we're at, dude, even though it sounds like it's bad, but I think our market has never gone like, it has never went like this. It was kind of like through the pandemic, it's kind of like this, and it's starting to pick back up again. And because our market is in Seattle, so it's pretty strong.
Yeah, I think you made a couple good points there. And then keep your questions, put your questions in the chat box. We'll get to a few of them. I know, we're not going to even get to a small percentage of them because I feel like I'm with George Clooney right now or something. But anyways, you can make money in any market because if the bear market going down or a bull market going up, because you just buy at a percentage off of the market, and the market doesn't dip 30% overnight. The market slowly dips, right? So it would be a horrible year if the market in Seattle dropped 15% throughout the entire year. That would be horrible.
Yep.
But that's a little over % a month. So if you're wholesaling, you get in and out and you buy at a discount from what the actual market is, you should be safe. You don't buy what the market was 6 months ago. You buy what the market is now. So as long as you're keeping track of what houses sell for and you're buying 20, 30, 40% less than that minus repairs, there's no reason you should get hurt. I mean, you can, but you should be pretty safe.
Absolutely. And the thing is, as a wholesaler, when you fix and flip, yes, there's a lot of things you have to worry about, especially with the market changes, right? And that's why when you fix and flip, you must have some reserve set aside. I don't care if you leverage other people's money, whatever it is, hard, private, whatever, right? Or bank money, but you got to make sure you have to have reserve. And that's why in 08, 09, a lot of people lost their money too, is because they don't have reserve, right, to sustain the downfall. The beauty about wholesaling and what I love about wholesaling is because if you fix and flip and you buy 5 houses, and if the market tank, boom, you better have some backing. As a wholesaler, if we have 10 property under contract, the worst case we can do, obviously we don't want to do it, but we go back and we renegotiate. Right? We go that's the worst that can happen with you with the wholesaler if you structure your contract correctly. You go back, you renegotiate with the seller to get more time, to reduce the price. If they don't want it, boom, you cancel the contract and you walk away scratch free. That is the beauty about wholesaling.
You get that transparent, I call it, and you probably have a better word for it. You call it that transparent contingency. I tell everybody, do not hide that contingency. Do not, gloss over it. The seller needs to know. You can have an inspection clause. You can have a partner approval clause. You can have a financing clause. You can have a million different contingencies in there, but the seller needs to know about it. So if the market tanks or if something happens, like you said, you renegotiate or drop out. Wholesaling can be risk. I mean, I don't want to speak too crazy. Wholesaling can be risk-free if you structure your contract properly, right?
Absolutely. Yep.
And you're the king of wholesaling. So let's.
I don't know about that, but
well, let's get to a couple questions, and I wanna dig in you with Khang, but don't forget you got to be thinking of my catchphrase. So think of it while we're chatting. I want to talk to you about virtual wholesaling because I get it all the time, and we don't do it. We buy 200 houses a year. We wholesale 125, but we do it all in St. Louis, all the markets. So I want to talk to you about virtual wholesaling. But to get 10 deals a month, how many people? Somebody asked, how many people are you? Jeremy asked, how many people are you contacting?
Well, the thing is, Jeremy, I mean, that's going to be a really tough question because a lot of times, how good are you on the phone, right? If you're not good, maybe you have to talk to 1,000 or 2,000 people versus someone that has a little bit more experience. They have a little bit more sales skills. Maybe they're better on the phone and it takes less. But for me, I mean, I don't have the numbers in front of me because the wife, she's the one who runs all the back end, right?
She's the brains.
Dude, she's the brain, and I'm just out there and I'm just working, man. But for us right now, we do about 8 deals. I think last year we did about 10 deals a month. Right now I'm doing about 8. So 8 deals, 20K a pop. You know, my whole thing is not about doing a lot of deals, but doing less deal with a bigger spread. All right. So I want to leave you with this, Jeremy, is that don't chase number of deals, but chase profit. Don't chase number of deals, but chase profit. Don't listen to people on social media and say, hey, I just did 30 deals this month. Well, how much do you make per deal? 5,000 a deal, 2,500 bucks a deal? Because I've heard it. People do 30 deals and make 5,000 or 2,500. I only do, and let me tell you something. You don't know the amount of work and the amount of paperwork that actually goes into getting these deals done.
Every single one takes so much work and effort because every single person that sells their house at a discount, or almost every single one, is going through some type of situation. The closings are never easy. There's always liens that have to be taken care of. There's always issues almost to the last minute. So these are way more work than just a traditional deal. So so you don't want to do all that work and make $2,000, like you said. Try to go deeper, not wider.
Correct.
Somebody's FasterFreedom. How do you get that Monet? I can't steal the Monet thing from Kong for my catchphrase. Come on now, I got to think of something completely different. But that's all right. We got Kiola on here. He's actually in our he joined our live rental academy, Kong, and he's in our mastermind. We have a mastermind, a national mastermind. He lives in Hawaii and he's invested in St. Louis. So he's took our live rental academy and he's in our mastermind and he just wanted to say hi. Appreciates us talking. So
absolutely nice.
Feel like I'm a celebrity talking to you. So let's talk about virtual wholesaling now, Colin, because I always talk about wholesaling in my market. And everybody, I get asked all the time about it, and I just say you got to have boots on the ground. You got to have someone you trust if you're marketing, like if you're doing it in a different state. But that's about all the advice I can give them, because I'm not going to tell somebody something that I don't know. I'm not going to make something up. So why don't you talk a little bit about how kind of your process, a little bit virtual wholesaling, to give some of my audience some questions that they usually don't get answered from me.
Absolutely. And the thing is, Sam, and that's why I respect Sam so much, you know, because he teach you guys about building passive income, buying rental property, right? And I've seen people on social media that they talk about things that they have never done, or like they have never even done it, right? And they actually try to teach you and sell you a course and all that. And that's why I respect Sam a lot. I mean, as far as in virtual wholesaling, man, the key to being able to virtual wholesale is being able to lock the deal up under contract over the phone. That is the key, because a lot of time, if you don't know how to lock it up on a contract over the phone, you're not going to be able to know how to do it virtually. So, for example, you know, you're so used to do it local. The next thing that you would say to a homeowner, right, is say, hey, I'm going to go out, or I'm going to send someone out here. We're going to look at your property, and then we're going to make you a cash offer, right? Like for those of you who's doing it local, right? That's a typical conversation. Hey, okay, no problem. We'll set an appointment. We'll go out. We'll see the property. This is how you lock it up on a contract over the phone. It is the key to virtual wholesaling. Yes, Sam, you're correct. You got to get boot on the ground. The best way to get boot on the ground is network with some realtor in the local area or other wholesaler. Okay. Other wholesaler, other investors. See if you can network. See if you can collaborate with them. And, you know, or maybe you're in a city or a town or states that friends or family that are there that can be your boots on the ground. And boots on the ground is not necessarily someone that goes take picture for you, okay? But someone that helps facilitate the showing between the seller and the buyer, so that way they don't talk, you know, nonsense and trying to go behind your back. That is the key to having foot on the ground, is someone to facilitate that showing for you. Because if you want to take pictures, there's a company called WeGoLook.com. Right? WeGoLook.com. They'll go out there and they'll take picture for you. It's like $86, right? They go out there on behalf of your company. Now, the key to locking up on a contract over the phone, this is how you do it. So for example, let me ask Sam. So Sam, let's go ahead and role play really quick.
Okay, let's do it.
So let's just say that, okay, we talk about price and then we negotiate and you end up to agree. So Sam, so for your property there, I mean, after we did our research and everything, I mean, would you consider $100,000 for the property?
I don't know. I mean, it sounds fair. I just inherited this house. We just moved my parents into assisted care facility. We just inherited the house. I really want to get the most I can get. Do you think $100,000 is fair? Or do you think I could get more from other people?
Gotcha. That's, you know, Sam, that's a great question. And obviously our goal here is to make sure that, you know, it's fair for you and it makes sense for us. You know, obviously our goal is to create a win-win for both. I mean, 100,000, we did our research and everything. I think 100,000 is actually a pretty fair deal, but obviously I want to get you what you want as well. So is 100,000, is that something that you can work with, or are you thinking about something else?
I think that would maybe work. I mean, so if I get 100,000, like, what does that look like? Am I gonna, how quickly can we close? Is there gonna be a bunch of people walking through my house? What does it look like after the 100,000? If we can agree on the price.
Gotcha. Great question, Sam. So basically what it is Sam, obviously we take care of all the closing costs, all the fees for you, right? Since there is no mortgage on the property, at the time of closing, you're going to walk away with $100,000 net to you in your pocket, not a penny less. As far as in the closing date, Sam, we can certainly work with you on it. We definitely want to make sure that this is hassle-free sale for you. Now, as far as in the closing date, Sam, I mean, how quickly are you looking to sell and close escrow on the property?
I mean, it was as quickly as possible. It doesn't have to be next week or anything, but
Sure.
by the end of January, it'd be great. Can you make that work, sir?
By the end of January, okay. So if we can do closing within the next 30 to 45 days or sooner, would that work for you?
Yeah, I think I can do that.
Okay. As you guys can see, a lot of time when seller tells me they want a quick closing, so what you want to do is you don't want to sell the seller, you don't want to tell the seller right off the bat, oh, I can close in 7 days, I can close in 10 days, because what's going to happen as a wholesaler is you're going to put yourself in a situation where you have a very restricted time limit to find your buyer. So you don't want to say that. You want to question the seller. That's why I asked Sam, how soon? Sam said he does want to close it quickly. So I typically go 30 to 45 days or sooner. Would that work for you, Sam? So I slow down where I want the seller to hear what I want the seller to hear, which is, hey, we're closing within the next 30 to 45 days or sooner. Would that work for you, Sam? Sam said, okay. So which means I'm going to lock this prop up in a contract for 45 days, not 30 days. Sam was okay with, 30 to 45 or sooner. So 45 days. Great. So Sam, it's 100,000. I don't know if that's going to work, but if I can get an approval from my team manager for the 100,000 net to you, is that something that you're ready to move forward to get the paperwork done and sell your property?
Yeah, I'm ready to move. Let's do it.
Fantastic. So Sam, I want to make sure we're on the same page. So if I can get an approval from my team manager for 100,000 net to you, we cover all closing costs, all the fees, taking over your property as is, closing within the next 30 to 45 days or sooner. That is something will work for you, and you're ready to move forward to get the paperwork done and sell your property if I can get that approved. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Boom. So the thing is, so when you want to do it on the phone, that is how you position yourself. So for those of you, if you haven't followed my YouTube channel and all that, I always tell about positioning yourself. The key is, how do you position yourself so that way you don't give, the seller, don't make the seller feels like, oh, this is too easy. So now when I position myself, I said, hey, if I can get that approved, Sam, are you ready to move forward? So now Sam is like, well, let's see if he can get that approved, right? So now I have I got to go higher up. Basically, it makes it seem like you're jumping through hoops to get this done for them. It's better than saying, hey, Sam, yeah, I think we can do 100,000. It's just too easy. And a lot of time when it's too easy, you send out the contract to the seller. Seller's like, hey, maybe I need to get someone to look at this a little bit more. No, this is way too easy for them to just accept the offer. So that's how you position yourself. So now typically what I do is I put the seller on hold for 5, 10, 20, 15 seconds, whatever. And then I came back and I said, hey, Sam, so congrats. I was able to get that approved. We all ready to move forward. So here's the couple things I need from you, Sam. Your email, so I can send over the purchase and sale agreement. And that's how you do it. You get your email. You send the contract over through DocuSign. They sign it. They send it back to you. That's pretty much it. So that's how you lock it up on the contract or the phone. You don't need to say, hey, I'm going to send someone out there. No, you do your research. Figure out what number is the low or the highest you can come in before you actually make the call. And then after you talk to the seller, and then when the seller and you negotiate on a price, you said, if I can get that approved, are you ready to move forward? That's it.
Yeah, I like it. I love it. So there's a different art. Look at this. He's just dropping knowledge bombs. So there's a different art and strategy to closing at the kitchen table in front of the person than closing over the phone, because there's so many things you can read when you're in person, right? When I'm trying to close a deal at the kitchen table, you make sure you sit down, you talk slowly, talk calmly, lean in, whisper, these kind of things that you can't do over the phone. You got, so there's a completely different mindset that goes into it. Now, a question that popped into my head, and you mentioned earlier, if you guys don't know, everybody knows who you are, but if you don't, make sure to follow Khang Wholesale to Millions on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram. His stuff is out of this world. So if you feel like you can't follow another real estate investor, unfollow me and follow him. Okay.
Oh, stop it.
The better stuff.
No, not at all.
So when you're cold calling, so how do you know how much you're going to offer? So you haven't been in the house, because what I would like to do is I would get a number in my head before I go in person. And after I go in person, I kind of recalculate my numbers after I see the layout, or maybe there's an extra bath in the basement, stuff like that. So how do you get your initial offer?
Dude, Sam, so great question. So what it is what we do is we do there's a 3-step process. I made it very, very simple. Whether you're cold call or the lead is coming in, right? So whether the seller is calling you off your marketing piece or you're cold calling, number one is that I tell my VAs, all they're doing is they just filter and qualify the lead. Their job on the first call is not to negotiate, nothing like that. It's to build the rapport with the seller, figure out the seller motivation, go through and then ask questions. Why they want to sell, property address, what they want to sell the property for, get the property information, what they want to sell for, is there a mortgage? And if the seller is motivated and want to receive an offer, then they set the appointment. Then my purchase manager, which I think a lot of you say acquisition, then the acquisition, I call him the purchase manager. The purchase manager calls back, make the offer, either lock it up on a contract or the phone, and then send that lead over to my transactional coordinator, where they actually, do the whole showing and send it to the title company and all that. But that's what happened. It goes from the first one to the acquisition, the purchase manager. If the offer gets accepted, it moves on to my transactional coordinator. If not, then that lead will go back to the first person that talks to the seller, and then they continue to keep on following up with the seller until the property sold, or they tell us, hey, don't call anymore, or whatever it is, or take me off your list.
Awesome. I like it. That's good. I'm getting a bunch of comments on here that, you're dropping some knowledge. We really, really like it. I like it.
Thanks.
I like it a lot. Can you do all this with no money, or do you have to have a hard money lender? Do you do all this with no money, Khang, or do you have a hard money lender behind you?
So the thing is, I think it's Alex, right?
Yep.
Alex did, yes, you can wholesale with no money, but let's be real. It's going to be extremely hard. Not impossible, but it's hard. So when you're starting out, you have no money, you got to do all the freeway. 99% of the people is already doing the freeway, which means you got to hustle 10 times harder than the people that got the money to leverage, to send out, whether they can skip trace, cold call, they can go pull a list, pay for the list, or, send out direct mail, send out text blast, RVM. So when you have money, you can leverage, and it's going to make things a little bit easier versus when you don't. So yes, you can wholesale without any cash. It's just going to be a little bit harder.
Yeah, I always say, Khang, that you can make money in real estate, no matter what your background, you prove that right there, right? No matter what your background, no matter what your credit score, no matter how much money you have in the bank. Now, obviously, having good credit, having access to cash, that helps, but you can do it. There's no excuse. You can make your way in real estate. There are almost unlimited amounts of ways to make money in real estate, no matter what your background, your credit history, how you grew up, where you're from. You just need to put in the effort and work hard.
Absolutely, man. And the thing is, Jim, I think a lot of people saying, hey, I don't have any money, I think that's just a big excuse. And you got to understand, in life, you either have results or excuse, which mean, are you willing to do whatever it takes to succeed? So you tell me I don't have any money. Well, how many JOB are you working right now? Are you just doing 8 hours, or are you doing 2 jobs? You see, if you don't have any money, man, if you have a JOB and you can't seem to get some extra money aside, dude, I'm sure there's something in your house that you can sell, right? That you don't need, that you can sell, that you can get some extra cash to put in a marketing, or you can go and start something part-time to get some money coming in so you can spend on marketing.
Not buying an iPhone 12, right?
Dude, dude, you're out trying to buy an iPhone 12 when your bank account is below sea level, baby. Come on, man. Shit.
I saw that TikTok you did. I think it's got over 1 million now. It's doing pretty good.
I think it's almost at 2 million view, bro.
Wow, that's 2 million. I'm getting ready to cross the 5 million threshold on one though. It's pretty crazy.
Nice.
So, slogan, be free. I don't hate it. I think the slogan that because we got to create my slogan before we're done, can be something about freedom or being free, because that's kind of what I talk about. So I think we're onto something there. Something there at ours. So, what are the requirements to start for wholesale? I'm just gonna lay this up for you, Khang. What are the requirements? What do you need to get to start into wholesaling? What does somebody need to have?
You gotta have a freaking killer work ethic, and you gotta be committed. That's it. You gotta have a killer work ethic, which means, dude, your work ethic cannot be minimum wage. All right? So you cannot have an 8-hour mindset. Man, you gotta have a killer work ethic. When I first started out, I worked from 5 a.m. Sam, I worked from 5 a.m., which is at my regular job. I came home around 1:30. I took a shower, eat, go into the mall, and work on our little small business from 3 until 9 p.m. When I got off from 9 p.m., I went on my freaking computer. I pull all the expired listing, and I sit there and I handwrite letters from freaking 9 until midnight, until 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, because that is how bad I want freedom, baby. And I did that for like a year and a half. Can you do that? It's not about doing one thing. It's not doing a bunch of things going hard for 30 days, but it's the consistency. Can you be consistent?
Get it. Go. I knew that get you fired up. I love it. Good. You're just dropping the knowledge as always. I appreciate you. Good on time here for a little bit?
Yeah, man. Absolutely, dude.
I love it. You're the man. All right. So how do you start out these cold calls? Go back. We'll take it back a notch. And then I got some questions for you. There's a ton of questions that we're not getting to. So if we miss your questions, make sure to just watch my YouTube and Khang's YouTube. Whatever questions you have are probably answered on our YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. So how do you start out the cold calls? How do you start that conversation with the seller?
Yeah. So basically for a cold call, I make it very, very simple. I go in with a straight hook. Hi, my name is Khang. I work with a group of investors. I was calling to see if you have a house or a property that you might be interested in selling for cash, or receive a free, no risk, no obligation cash offer from us. It's either a yay or a nay, or possibly could be a maybe. A maybe is good. A maybe, okay, that's great. And then I always want to confirm, right? So basically I come in with the hook straight up and say, hey, my name is Khang. I'm calling to see if you have a house or a property that you might be interested in selling. That's it. Just for cash.
Don't bury the lead. That's what they say. Don't bury the lead in whatever you're doing. Just no. Because James, the thing you got to understand is that real estate is a numbers game. I don't want to waste my time with people that are not motivated to sell. And you understand, 97% of the people you're going to call is not going to be motivated enough for us to get a deal under a major contract, right? At a major discount. So I want to go in. I want to get straight to the point. No, I move on to the next one. It's a numbers game. Yeah, it's a numbers game, man. If you're new, you'll probably agree with this, Khang. If you're new, your first 20 are just going to suck. You're not going to, you just got to keep pushing through. You're going to get better. You're going to improve if you have a work ethic, want to work hard. So if your first 50 calls go bad, guess what? You're just like everybody else. I guarantee you, when you got started, Khang, your first calls were bad, right? Everybody's on.
Bro, dude, when I first started, Sam, it's crazy, man. I spent 6 months cold calling people on Craigslist. And listen, and I was horrible. I sucked so bad, and I got so nervous on the phone, like really, really bad. And now listen, real estate is a numbers game. But to me, I believe it's just like TikTok. You got to understand the matrix, which means I've seen people pumping out a bunch of video, but they don't understand the matrix, which means making calls is good. Eventually, you're going to get better. But I highly suggest that you follow Sam, right? You follow Sam, or you follow somebody that you can actually get some training from. whether you find it on YouTube, right? There's, I do cold call role play every single Friday. I'm sure Sam does something. There's other people out there that does it. Because if you don't know what is wrong, how can you fix it? Does that make sense? Like, you can make a bunch of calls, but you don't know what's wrong with your calls, right? Every single person you talk to, hang up. You never really got through with them because you don't know how to position yourself. So when you don't know what is wrong, you cannot fix what is wrong. So a lot of times you need some guidance and some people to listen to your calls, or maybe you have to listen to some other people's call. And trust me, there's plenty of them on YouTube. You just search in cold call real estate or whatever, right? And then just watch and then start educating yourself and then start taking notes and then trying to come up with a script of your own.
Yeah, because you can, there's scripts out there, but you got to own your own script. You have to.
Correct.
Why would you try and recreate the wheel when someone else like me or you is giving away a bunch of free information? Yep. Obviously, we have paid stuff, but our free stuff is more than enough to get people off the ground.
Absolutely agree.
We got a quote from Kyola, our buddy in Hawaii. I fear not the man who has practiced 10,000 kicks once, but I fear the man who has practiced one kick 10,000 times. I love it. Man. That's too long to be my slogan, but I love it. They keep the questions coming, guys. If you have any else, I want to ask you this, Khang. So what is your favorite thing? What's your favorite thing about real estate investing? What is it? What is it? Is it the cars you buy? Is it the freedom? Is it the rings you buy for your wife and propose? What is your favorite part about real estate?
You know what? I mean, let's be real, man. My favorite part about real estate, it's got to be the money, baby. Because the money buys you the freedom. All right? So, listen, I used to work at a company 8 hours a day, making $30,000 a year, and now I make that within one wholesale deal, man. What don't you love about that? But listen, wholesaling is a grind, it's a hustle. You build a team and a system and all that. That is a grind, that's a hustle. People say rich is measured in money, but wealth is measured in time. And that's why Sam is the man that you want to follow, man, because the ultimate game to every investor, every real estate investor that ever wants to get into real estate, the end goal is being able to build passive income, because that is where true wealth is.
I want to go on Khang. I want to go on. I guess I might be able to, but the goal is to tell people I want to go sit on a beach for a month and make a lot of money and not have to answer the phone one time. That is what the game, that passive stream of substantial income is. And Shazad here says, yeah, let's be real. Real estate's sexy. That's part of it right there, right? Real estate is sexy for sure. We had somebody ask for a TikTok shout out. The Only Lemon, we'll give him a TikTok shout out there for there. And then I think you'll like this one, Khang. It comforts me knowing that other people had anxiety as well. Yes, this is hard. It's hard for a lot of different reasons. Just because there's anxiety, people fail. You got to keep getting kicked and getting back up. So the people that are okay with that anxiety, the people that get over it, the people that are willing to put in the time and work and get over it, those are the people that are successful. That's what separates people from just trying it a couple times and people that end up like you.
So the thing is, for those that are watching, you got to understand, Sam and I, we're just regular average Joe. I mean, there's really nothing special about us. And for those of you who don't know, when I was in high school, I got bullied throughout my young childhood, all the way until I was in high school, even all the way until I was in my mid-20s. I was so insecure physically and mentally. Do you know how hard it is for me to go to the mall? Like, my dad took me to the mall to get my hair cut, and I literally sit in the chair and I would cry. I beg him not to take me to the mall because I have anxiety when there's a lot of people around me that I don't know, and that's why I also hated school because of that. I was just extremely insecure, and it took me forever to get over my insecurity. And let me tell you how I got over that shyness, that insecurity. I came to realize that you got to figure out what is more important to you. Because in life, you got to give up something for something else. There is never something for nothing in life. Never. So, for example, me being here with Sam, I'm giving up the time of being at home with the wifey, with the dog. Same thing with Sam, right? He's giving you guys the time, but he's giving up something else. And my wife, she told me, she said, Khang, you cannot be like this. Right? You cannot be who you are right now for us to accomplish or get the dreams or live the life that we want. You must become somebody else. Like, which means like you must change. If you don't change who you are, your life will never change.
Yeah, and changing who you are takes some self-diagnosis that you need changing, right? And it takes some discipline, it takes some motivation, and it just takes wanting to always get better and not never being satisfied, because you have 2 million on TikTok, 100,000, 110,000 on YouTube. Oh, how much on Instagram? 100.
I think we're at like 136.
Okay, so you have almost 2.5 million people following you, and you're still going because you want more. You want more out of everything, and you get this hunger and you keep feeding it. So those are the type of people that are successful. Shazad had a good comment on here that he said, those of you who make excuses and say it's too hard, change the channel. This channel is for people that are willing to put in the time and the effort, for sure.
Absolutely.
I love it. All right. So we're going to round it up here in a minute, but I want you to give some advice. I know you talked a little bit. What is your advice for some newer investors, which is both of our audiences is newer people?
Sure. So, I mean, for those of you who's new, who are just starting out, I'm going to share with you exactly what I did when I first started out. You want to make sure that you go attend your local REIA, REIA. Usually they have a meeting once a month. Maybe because of COVID, they don't do it in person, but they do it virtually, right? Some of them actually host like a Zoom. You can Google it, or you can go on Facebook and find a local REIA that you can join and start networking and start surrounding yourself with people that are like-minded, people that are in the same business. 2 is pick 1 or 2 people that you want to follow. I think Sam is a great guy to follow, obviously. Follow Sam and 1 or 2 people, not 5, not 10, because everybody's style is going to be a little bit different. And when you would start starting out, there's just too much information for you to take on. And sometimes you feel overwhelmed because, maybe Sam say one thing, another guy say one thing, the other gal say one thing, and then you're all confused. So pick 1 or 2 people that you like, you want to follow, consume their content, and start taking action. Because you got to understand, knowledge without execution is worthless. Too many people sitting behind the computer watching and not taking action. So watch and then take action, because you got to understand, you don't know if the move that you're going to make is the right move or the wrong move until you make the move. And if you make the wrong move, at least you can adjust, right? At least you can adjust and try to move in the right path. But if you don't make a move, you're standing in one spot, man, a year from now, 2 years from now, you wish you would have made a move 2 years ago.
Yep, you are so right. I always tell people, great advice, Khang. I always tell people the exact same thing you said. Every single real estate investor, like you and like me and like everybody else, they all have 2 things in common. They all wish they started earlier.
Yep. And
they all are willing to get involved and entrenched in a community. They all go to local REIAs. Most of them pay for some type of coaching or mastermind, or we pay a lot of money a year to be in our mastermind, because we see the value of being around other people. So make sure, if you don't know who this crazy guy is here, make sure you're following Khang, Wholesale to Millions, on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram. And like I said, Khang said only follow a couple people. So if you don't want to follow another real estate investor, just unfollow me and follow him. You will not be disappointed.
No.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you being on. Thank you. I know I was on yours. I'm excited to see you in March, man. Keep crushing on TikTok. Looking forward to seeing you, and obviously we'll be chatting soon, man. I appreciate you taking time out of your evening to be on with me. I really, really do.
Absolutely, Sam. I mean, it's absolutely an honor. It's an honor to know you and to call you as a friend, bro. And I seen you creeping up, dude. By March, I think by March you should hit over 1 million, buddy.
Let's get it. You'll be at 10 million, but that's all right. I'll be part of the way there.
Good for you, man. Sam, once again, man, thank you so much, dude. I really appreciate it, bro.
I appreciate it, buddy. Thank you.